each other because you're my true brother. So, can we do that now in the morning? With each other by embracing each other?
Ariel, narinig ko yung sorry bro, sorry. May kasalanan. Bro, Bejie bro. Group hug! Group hug! Group hug! Tayo. Oh, yan. Morning. Morning. Pawis si Ray.
Morning.
Sige bro, pinapatawad na kita.
Morning. Morning.
Hey bro.
Kaya nga no.
Balik nga ako kay good morning. Morning bro. Abe. Oh bro. Parang ulan.
Uy, sardinas! May sardinas!
Hindi ko maabot eh.
Pwede yung iba doon?
Morning Joseph.
Okay. So, beginning today, this is how we will greet each other as brothers. Amen? Amen. So whatever it is, assembly or household or even we see each other in the mall or in the public place, when we see each other as a brother, let's see each other as a true brother. And show that sign of true brotherhood by embracing each other and say, God bless my brother. Amen?
Amen.
Okay? So, wala nang shake hands. If I see a shake hand, I will put the back, ha? Okay? So, the last talk is talk about the mission, how we can continue this mission. Okay, like I was sharing the first talk, this is a mission really of obedience and faithfulness. We are fathers to our children, we are husband to our wife, we are nephew to our relatives, our nephew, our nieces, we are uncles to our nieces and nephews, and we are true brothers to each other in community. And that really binds us. That is a memory that we will never forget. That's why we continue building that relationship. We will never have a perfect relationship because we will always make a mistake with one another. Minsan may masasabi tayo, we will say something ugly or nice, and disagreements happen. It will always happen. But the end of everything, the situation or the circumstances, let us always remember, we are a blessing to one another. You are a blessing to me. I learned from you. You learn from me. And that is giving of self. Sharing whatever experiences we have, sharing the goodness of God in our lives, that is giving of self. And that is true brotherhood in one community. So I hope this culture actually is not really practiced back in Manila or all over the area, but wherever I go, where I serve, I always say that true brotherhood is really giving of self. And how can we give that? Is by hugging each other and say, God bless my dear brother. Even in my emails, I always put the dear, because you are dear to me. You are important to me. And you're more important to even to my siblings. Because we have that kind of relationship. And that is really happening in our community, and that's the one that really binds us. So, going to the mission, there's one word that I like to share to everybody. The word of serve. And I'll use it again as an acronym of SERVE. Para we can relate to it. I remember the first letter first is steadfast. Okay? I remember when I joined the community in 1986. I was a participant. Our facilitator was handling the group, but suddenly after the CLS or the CLP, our facilitator was given a work to work in Taiwan as an OFW like you. So we did not have any household head. And I remember our team leader asked me, Brother Bejie, can you take charge of being the household head of that group? I was not even 1 year old or 1 day old as a member, but the team leader asked me, Brother Bejie, are you open to be the household of this group? First of all, sabi ko, how can I do it? I don't know how to do it. And I'm just new in the community. But again, I stand firm and with the call of the Lord. Maybe I'll try my best. I will ask from the help of the Spirit. And I remember that team leader told me, all you need to do is pray for the guidance and pray for the guidance and pray for the strength that you can do what a household head is all about. Then I accept the role, and actually when I accepted the role, it brought me to humility because I know I have to prepare myself, not only as a person, but prepare myself spiritually by reading the Bible, even lengthening my prayer time. So whenever I have that household, I'm prepared. So given an opportunity, you be firm, you be steadfast, but again, it's a lot of responsibility. You cannot give if you don't do anything about it. If just listen, then a lot of sacrifice really. You have to make the decision that the Lord, you have chosen me to be a leader of this group, then prepare me. But again, you prepare, you have to do something about it. Because if you don't do something about it, you cannot give anything. So that's an example of one steadfast. And another example is that I'm open to do service in the provinces. So after 4 years, they found a province that I remember the first province that I handled was Palawan. And one experience that up to now I always remember is when we were tapped to give a program, which is the MER, and the area is Brooks Point, the southern part of Palawan. Who's from Palawan here? Nobody? Palawan. Brooks Point?
Puerto Princesa.
Puerto Princesa. So Brooks Point is southern part of the southern tip of Palawan, and we were asked to give an MER retreat there, and we went there to our brothers and sisters. And I remember when we went there, we were looking for where will we sleep. And one of the couple there, brother and sister, this is where you will sleep. We're offering our house to you. It's a bahay kubo. Maybe the size is 2.5 by 2.5. Everything is there, the bed, the kitchen. You know how a bahay kubo looks. And you go up by steps in a ladder. And it was really a humbling experience for me because sometimes we complain of small things in the house or in our comfort of our house. I remember our bed was already sagging and we were complaining, we were thinking, but when we went to Palawan and we were experiencing lying down on the, you know what the Hawaiian?
Bamboo.
The bamboo that is open. And I remember the family gave us only yung banig.
Mat.
So we stayed there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was really a humbling experience for us. Now here we are back in Manila, in our comfortable home. And here they are, so comfortable living in that kind of situation. And I said to the Lord, so fast you answer my question, do we need to change our mattress or not? And He taught us, be happy what you have. And again, those small instances of experiences gives me a lot of insight, not only to me but also to my wife. Sometimes we do a lot of complaining in our lives, but again, let's look around. We complain so much of our problem, but again, if one problem is so big for us, maybe you have to look around and you'll see there is more bigger problem of a brother, of a sister, or another couple than what we have or what we're experiencing. So let us be steadfast. Let us be firm on the service or the opportunity the Lord can give us. Okay? Next letter. E. Encouraging. When we talk about encouraging, reassuring, hopeful. And I'd like to share with you again another instance. After Palawan, after 4 years in Palawan, we were brought to Samar. I remember one of our mission trip in Samar, we were going to an island. The name of the island is San Sebastian. And the only way to go to the San Sebastian is you ride the bangka and you pass by the river, and the island is just like a peninsula. It's attached, but it is a sandbar connecting to that island. So you can only go to that island by a bangka. And I remember when I was alone, Irene was not with me, and I remember I was with our brothers there who was going to give a CLT in that island, and the CLT was 8 o'clock, so we have to ride the bangka by 7 because it's a 1 hour bangka ride. And I remember it was an experience because just a typhoon passed that, so it was all black. No stars, all clouds, you cannot even see a star. And I remember the one that is guiding the bangka told me, brother, don't put your hands in the water because there are what? Crocodiles. Don't put your hand in the water, they're crocodiles. And I was playing with the river, I was touching it with shoulder. So it was all black, and we have only one flashlight in front, and that was navigating. I don't even see if there's water, or trees, or if there's a fort. But he was just following me. Maybe he knows the river. And I remember I was asking the Lord, Lord, guide us, give me the assurance that we will reach the place. And you know what happened? For the first time in my life, I saw millions of fireflies. Who saw fireflies already? Fireflies, alitap-tap, in 1-3 millions. And in the other side of the bank, another million of fireflies. Para ako nasa Ross Boulevard. When we were passing that, sabi ko, I was overwhelmed with the assurance the Lord has given me. Kasi sabi nung bankero sa akin, yung portion na yun talaga doon nagsistay yung ano. And counting the trees, maybe around 20 to 25 trees. From one side of the banka to the other of the bank, full of fireflies. And we were lighted going to San Sebastian, and we finished, I think we finished around midnight, and we went back. Riding that bangka going back home. Miracles, I think miracles can really happen. All we have to do is just believe in the Lord and ask for help. And another experience that I had, I was going to Baler, Quezon. I'm not handling the province, but I was invited to give a CLP. And one assurance that the Lord had given me is, when I was going there, I was in Cabanatuan, Bejie, I was cruising, and you know Baliwag Transit.
Bus.
Baliwag Transit went to my lane, and he was hitting me head on. Then, as you know, when you stop on the brakes of a car, the car will spin. In the movies, when you see when they step on the brake, it will spin. I remember the car spin. I went to the other side of the lane, and I fell to the 1 meter to 2.5 or to 2 meters of the rice field, and nothing happened. I didn't hit a car that is coming. I didn't hit a tree that was on both sides of the road. And I fell on the rice field. And you know what? I did not know how to go up. But again, with the grace of God, of His assurance, one pickup came and said, "Brother, can we help you? I have a rope here." And he pulled my car. So when I went to the sidewalk, I look at the car, everything, no scratch, only mudded tires, no scratch. I started the car, it was running. Then I said, continue the mission to Baler. Then I stayed the whole day in Baler, and the next day I went to the spot where it happened. I really want to see why nothing happened. But when I went there, I saw trees, and then I saw a post, and the possibility of me hitting those things was there, but it did not happen. Even the possibility of being hit by the car, when I went to the other side of another car coming, it did not happen. If not, I'm not here anymore. Maybe I'm disabled, or maybe the Lord has called me already, but I'm here. That's the kind of assurance whenever we go into mission, anything can happen. All we need to really is just to be encouraged and assured by God that even our loved ones, when we leave them, the Lord is telling us, never mind, I will take care of them. So always seek the opportunity. Seek the opportunity of doing the mission. The next letter is the responsibility. I always write this and share this in my talks. And when it talks about responsibility, actually maturity does not really come in age. It comes with acceptance and responsibility. Acceptance and responsibility. Maturity or spiritual is not of how length of a time did we have here in community or experience here in community. It's really accepting the call, and after accepting the call, putting the priority of that responsibility the Lord has given you. Just to share to you some of the areas which I handled, so you can give an idea of how vast the mission the Lord has shared to me, and all of these are really blessing. So 1991 I started going out from Metro Manila. I remember my first province was Palawan, then I went to Samar, then I was assigned to Region 8, which comprises the 5 provinces: Biliran, Southern Leyte, Leyte, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, and Samar. So every time I go there, I spend a week so I can go around the whole provinces. That's one of my responsibility in Region 8 of Visaya. Then after that Region 8, they assigned me to Marinduque. Marinduque, we had a split. of 2017. Then after that, they assigned me to Ilocos Norte. I remember in Ilocos Norte, every time I go to Ilocos Norte, it takes me 10 hours of travel time from Manila to Ilocos Norte sa Lawag. And if I want to reach the 8 o'clock activity, I have to leave the house around 8 to 9 p.m. So just imagine, every time we go to mission, Elaine and I, we have to travel by night. But we handled all this mission, and the Lord just took care of us even we travel at night. Even nga, I remember in summer, the only airport where we can ride the plane going back to Manila is in Tacloban. And our base in Samar is Catbalogan. It's 3.5 hours from Catbalogan to Tacloban. And the flight we usually get on a Monday is 6 a.m. So just imagine traveling Samar from 2 a.m. We can reach the airport by 5. So we have that 1 hour of preparation before we go to the plane and go back to Manila. And as you know, Samar is an island full of NPAs. But we handled this for 4 years and nothing happened. All those travel going back to Tacloban. And that is the assurance the Lord can give us once we give ourselves to the mission. Okay? So 2002, I was assigned to international mission. I was handling Cambodia. In 2017, the region of the Middle East was given to me by Frank to handle all the evangelization work that can happen in the Middle East. So right now we are in Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. When the group, or when their members, our community was growing in the Middle East, Frank asked me, why don't you lead the brethren in doing the mission in Africa? Since Middle East is only a few hours from Middle East to the Africa. So I told our brethren, are you open to the mission in Africa? Nobody answered. So I told Frank I will try. So it was an opportunity for me also to try to go to mission in Africa. So 2000, I think it was 2012 or 2013, I went to Africa to really feel the mission. And it was really something because you're doing the mission not to Filipinos, but to African. And it's very hard because the culture of Africans is you do everything. They'll just go to the venue, they'll just listen to you, but you do all the preparation. So I have to talk to the priest, ask for a venue. I don't know how to play the guitar, so I have to interview the Africans who knows how to play the guitar. I'll teach that person. And after that, I still have to buy the merienda. It was really hard. Doing the mission I went to Botswana in Uganda. And it was really an experience that I told Frank is really very hard for me to do it alone. So when we did the plan in the mission of Africa, it was really more practical for a person or a couple to stay in Africa full time. So when we were deliberating who can do it, you know Brother Tony Correa? Who knows Brother Tony Correa? Brother Tony Correa and Sister Maria volunteered to do the mission in Africa. So they're staying in Malawi now, and they're the one going around Nigeria, Botswana, Southern Africa, Malawi, and they're representing the continent of Africa in our international body of counselors when we meet once a year. So again, all of this came when I was still working. All of this came when my children was still all growing up. So can we do it? It's really a choice. It's really how you can fix everything in your schedule. And again, I always say this, that we're not control of the situations in our life, or even the circumstances, or even the conditions that can happen. And Father was giving emphasis yesterday of really faith. We can only do this by faith and trusting and believing in God. So to the next letter, so service, S, what's S?
Steadfast.
Encouraging.
And the R?
Responsibility.
And V is vigilant. Okay? V is vigilant. Always be alert. Okay? 1 Corinthians 16 verse 13, be alert, stand firm in faith. I act like men and be strong. Vigilant even in the world where we're going around. We're really consumed by the world of consumerism, egoism, materialism. It will never, our need will never end. If we were so much focused on all of these worldly needs or wants that we want to have in this life, it will never end. And let us be vigilant by really being sensitive. Do we really need it? Or do we want it? Always reflect on everything. If you're going to buy something, let's not do it on a, what do you call it, an impulse. Discern about it. You talk about your husband and wife. You have a 24-inch TV. You saw something, 54, mas maganda.
I want that. Yeah.
Do we need it? You always ask that question, do we need it? Is it still working? Will it better our lives having those kind of gadgets? Or will somebody need it? Let's ask this question. Will I give a little of my blessing to a person from a hopeless stage to a future of hope? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, yung doon sa program ng EFI, yung supporting a student. All they need is 2,000 pesos a month. So they can continue whatever expenses they have, and finally they be given hope in the future. Sabi nga one of the sharing of the son of the wife, I only pray that sometime I help my brothers and sisters, because right now we can only sponsor or support one child per prisoner, because we cannot support one prisoner if he has 4 or 5 kids. We want to give opportunity to everybody. So we told them we can only give one child per. So that child, I remember that child told in one of his sharing, because we were doing the documentary, so whenever I go around we can show that. And he told, I hope someday I will finish, I will help my children, I help my brothers and sisters. Hopefully we will one day be one family here out. And even though he knows his father cannot go out of the prison because of the heinous crimes his father did, but he always continue, hopefully my father will go out and we will be one family out together again. And what kind of hope that child shared in that video. So vigilant. Only what example that I could share is really whenever I travel, we always see to it that most of my road travel is I always see to it that I'm awake. If I'm sleeping on the road, I really stop. Especially I'm the one only driving. My wife does not drive. So if we're going to like Marinduque, I have to go to Lucena first and catch the 4 a.m. Boat, yung Roro boat, where we can bring our car up and go down in Balanacan in Marinduque, and from there we can go around the island of Marinduque. So every time I get tired, I always say to me, safety is always important, so I can really do the mission. And also, if we're given the chance to do the mission, let's always put everything, or maybe let the Lord fix everything for us, so we have that assurance. But again, there's nothing wrong in being vigilant, because this is one of the tools that we can use to give that assurance to all of us if we do the mission. Like I know if you go to China, there's a lot of restriction, even when you go across the border, and you don't even know when you cross in China, you don't know what can happen to you. Or even around the country of Hong Kong, when you want to go to the other areas to share the faith to other Filipinos, you will never know because you are unfamiliar with the place. Maybe that's the word. We will never be prepared because we don't know where we're going, or even we don't know what to expect. And one funny experience I remember when I went to Ifugao to give a CNP also. The brother who assigned me going to Ifugao told me, "Brother, you will be staying in the seminar house. When you go down, you go to the this parish, and you go to that parish, you go to the house of the priest, and you tell yourself, I'm here, I'm representing Couple for Christ, and I will look for that parish who will be hosting me, and I will stay in that seminar." So when I arrived in Ifugao, I went down to that church, and I met the priest. "Oh, Father, where can I stay?" "Here, we have a room here." So he brought me to a room, and he told me, "That's the room of Father something, I forgot the name. He just died 2 days ago." So it was funny. I remember I even called my wife, "Ma, I'm staying in your room because the father died 2 days ago. I'm scared. Pray over me." Even that, in the humanness of our being, sometimes we experience those kind of situations, and brings us to our senses. But again, that was the first time I saw who was on the rice terraces already. Really is one of the world's wonders. So that was the first time I saw the rice terraces. Even though the trip was 13 hours, it was worth it. But the rice terraces was a plus. But important is I met our brothers and sisters there, and it was really an experience for me. So for the last letter of serve is E, excellent. When we think of excellent, it's really preparing ourselves. We will never be excellent on what the Lord has given to us or taught us or that the Lord has experienced us if we really not prepare ourselves. Hindi pwedeng half-hearted lang. And because of that, we really have to, again, I encourage everybody to read books. Whatever inspirational books, even not a book, even an article. Start, sayang I did not bring my prayer journal. start doing your prayer journal. It's like a diary in your conversation with God. Because you will remember every day when you write something, the Lord touch you with a passage or even whatever you're reading, an article or a phrase or a sentence in a book that you're reading, write it. Reflect on it. Ask the Lord a deeper message. So this will equip you. Kaya I'm encouraging everybody, start that prayer journal. Sometimes it's so hard to say to pray 15 minutes a day. When you start your prayer journal, you'll be surprised. Sometimes you're 1 hour already communicating with God. Ako nga, I always choose the pinakamagandang notebook because it is my notebook. Hindi na, basta yung maganda yung cover, even the paper medyo makapal para when I write it, talagang sabi ko, this is a notebook to God, of talking to Him. Maybe not daily. Sometimes kasi I'm out in a mission, I cannot do my prayer journal. But every time you have that free time, in the office, if you have a break, instead of just bumming around or chit-chatting, cheese feast or anything, stay in your table, talk to God. One sharing that I want to share to everybody. Before, I dread traveling in Manila. Because why? Traffic. But you know why? You know now? I praise God for the traffic. You know why? I can do the rosary. Every time I travel, I always have my rosary in the stick shift of my car. Kasi I have a rosary of yung one mystery lang. Every time I travel, I look forward for moments where I can pray the rosary. Even you're traveling to office, how many minutes does it take? Have the rosary in your pocket. While sitting in the MRT ba yun? MTR. In your seat. Pray the rosary. Feel the presence of God even in those public places. And that's communion with God. And that's the way that the Lord can use us and share that excellence of living the faith. You'll be surprised. Maybe you're praying in the public. Somebody will say, "Brother, you're praying. Kakausapin ka pa. What are you doing?" And then you can be bold in sharing your faith. Even in the office. Praying, one of your office mates may ask, "Why are you praying?" Then you can start that conversation. And that is evangelization. Unconsciously or consciously. Or even treating people. They will ask you, why are you so kind? Why are you are so humble? And start the conversation. Because the Lord has taught me that. So very important on how we carry ourselves, on how we treat people, how we speak to them, always with a heart of humility. Always remember, you are not, there's somebody greater than you or there's somebody better than you. Sometimes we think we're the best. But I tell you, you'll never be the best. Somebody will always be better than you. And what must be our posture? The posture of humility. Because I know I'm only this, and somebody is greater than me. So actions, knowledge. Ano nga yung number 2 kahapon? Anong talk number 1? Empty. Let's feel. Alam ba nyo, even yung subconscious natin can accept information. I-google nyo. Makinig kayo ng talk. Habang natutulog kayo, i-pick upin ng subconscious niyo. Kunwari, nakikinig kayo, you were listening to a talk, to a priest, or to a brother, or to a writer that is very full of motivation, inspiration. You listen, tapos pag nakatulog ka, in your subconscious, whatever you hear in that, in your iPhone or laptop or whatever, your brain is listening to that even you're asleep physically. Try it before going to bed. You look for an article in sa Google or sa YouTube. Try it. And I mean, syempre, our mind, even in education, do you think you can work passing to grade school only? I don't think so. So, you still have to go to high school, you still have to go to college. We have to fill ourselves with the knowledge that we can get and use it. So it's the same with spiritual life. That's it, the second life. You have to college, sometimes go to master's pa nga or PhD. But spiritual life then is a process. And we will never be God's excellent army if we will not do anything. Even listen to one another as brothers. Yung sharing nyo sa amin, ako kahapon lang, when I was in a group, yung sharing lang namin in the table, I was overwhelmed and inspired na I got something from that sharing. Kaya it's very important din yung household meeting natin to really put importance, because if we go to our household meeting, that is the sharing of self. It's not what you get, but what you can share to our brothers and sisters with whatever experience or situations you are, or even the past circumstances that you have experienced. Let us be open, because we are brothers. Let's not inhibit ourselves when it comes to what we can give. I tell you, we can always give to one another something. And we will learn from it. We can reflect on it. And seek that opportunity. So I'd like to share to you an article that I read. Hindi ko na maalala where I got it. The difference between a life and a story. Itong article na yun, ito tells about how or the importance of why we need to tell our stories to others. Okay? Not just living the life per se. The life of the daily routine, the life of eating, enjoying life. The difference of life and sharing our story. The difference between a life and a story is that life tells about significance, while that of a story reveals a meaning and a purpose. So makikita nyo yung difference agad. When we tell our story, we bring meaning and purpose to the person. Much deeper than the significance. A life is not always possible because if somebody shares to us their life, it might not be possible to us. But a story can convey a message of encouragement, of inspiration. Whatever it is, big or small, when we tell our story, we will inspire and motivate people. But if we don't go out of our comfort zone, how can we tell that story? If we don't go out in mission, we will never able to tell that story. And we are all here in community because the Lord has blessed us one way or another. I was sharing in the table yesterday, blessing does not come in monetary or in money, in success. The true blessing is relationship. Our relationship as brothers and sisters in community, our relationship with our children, our relationship with our wives. That's the true treasures of why we are here in this world. And let us really embrace the treasure. More often we create stories that would be insignificant first. But when we reflect on it, believing that one day it will be important in our future. Maybe insignificant on that time, pero when you reflect back into it, it will be very important of an experience of a brother sharing to us, and important for us that, totoo nga, sinabi sa akin tong kapatid na ito. This is how I have to do it. And it will give importance to the mission the Lord has called all of us. So may we constantly discern that life without a clear purpose would have no solid meaning. So if we don't have that purpose and meaning in life, actually I saw a video sa YouTube din, I forgot lang yung website niya, no? Talks about they're interviewing elderly, 70 up. And those elderly are weak already, waiting for their time to die. And that person was interviewing most of the elderly there in the ICU. And you know, most of their sharing, hope I could bring back life. I never lived in this world because I never shared. They were all concerns of the daily routine of life, to live happy, to live that what the world can give them. But they never shared. Even nga si Steve Jobs, nabasa ba niya yung last ni Steve Jobs? Oh, I wish, sabi niya, I could bring back time because I wasn't able to even share the love and care to my children. I was so much focused on being rich, having the honor, having the success. He was even sharing, I have all the money in the world, but I cannot buy the medicine, the doctor, the way to cure my sickness. And it was all useless. It's useless. Yung mga brothers natin sa Saudi Arabia, since there is no church, they do their mass in their homes. And since they can only accommodate 40 mass per home, so we are already 400 there, so they cannot accommodate all of the members, so they have to They have to schedule Monday, the home of this brother, Tuesday, the home of this brother. So the Eucharistic ministry of our brothers schedule their for that week. I'll take care of Monday, Tuesday, etc. When they took the picture of their home, it was empty. And I asked the brother, why is it empty? Because they have to put the stocking chair whenever they have a mass. They put the altar, then put the stocking chair. And one significant sharing to me by my brother, you know why it's empty? Because when I go to heaven, I will not bring anything. I will not even bring my sofa or my dining table. My home was given that opportunity to be the church of our brothers and sisters once a week. And that is what I'm bringing. The legacy of our brethren, remembering that home of worship, which they can have that mass every week. Naano ako doon, natamaan ako doon sa sharing ngayon eh. Totoo na, we will not bring anything. It's only our body and our soul, or even just our soul, which will go to heaven. And hopefully we will see each other in heaven. Amen?
Amen. Amen.
So, conclusion na ako ha. Pasensya na kayo. Hindi, meron pa pala isang paragraph doon sa life and story. May we constantly discern that life without a clear purpose would have no solid meaning. And if it is without a purposeful meaning, then life would then have no significance. Amen. So for my conclusion, my dear brothers, God has created us, men with particular tasks. Una-una, to build His kingdom. And second, to lead. To lead in that mission. God gave us the wisdom, the strength to be provider and protector our families. But most especially, the Lord has given us the wisdom of our experience here in community, where we can share to others. The goodness of God in our lives, where we can share that goodness to others. And what do we have to do? To the word of serve, obedience and faithfulness to the call, and responding to that call. Amen.
Amen.
Praise God. Thank you so much.